new technologies and new designs emerge. So let us drop that E also, or at least give it a new or wider definition. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Am I
Thank you.
audible?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Ma'am, there are a few questions and
Yeah.
we'll just take those questions first. Ma'am, somebody just asked that is Coursera course, is it recognized by UGC or CAS?
Coursera course is recognition is not needed for this course. You can have this additional training with the Coursera courses, but you cannot means say that it is equivalent to PhD or equivalent to your PG. No, it is an additional knowledge. So Coursera is actually an international platform. So there is no need that UGC should recognize. But you cannot get any job on the basis of Coursera courses. But you become an expert on that area if you go through that course, and that is an added one. Just like from Swayam platform also, you can also pursue some courses. There are many courses for teachers from Swayam. So on the basis of Swayam courses, you cannot apply for jobs, but that is an added knowledge. So it is nothing like this recognition from UGC, but they are really creditable. We have some friends here, those who have done Coursera courses. But let me tell you, Coursera, though it's a international platform, but why not go for Swayam courses? You have wonderful courses on Swayam platform. So I'll definitely recommend, if you really want to add on to your knowledge as you are attending these courses. Even these courses are not going to, you cannot say that this is something of a UGC sponsored and you can get marks on that, but it is certainly going to increase your knowledge, update your knowledge. Yeah.
Right, ma'am. And there's another question that is there any provision for subscribing these online learning program platforms at the institutional level for the benefit of the students and the staff?
Pardon, madam?
Is there any provision for subscribing these online learning platforms at the institutional level or for the benefit of the students and the staff?
Absolutely. Wonderful question has been asked. Yes, your university should initiate Swayam courses are available, but if the private universities are there, autonomous colleges, they can send a proposal to Swayam for the selective courses they want, and there is a procedural way, and they will permit. And you have to have one teacher in charge or principal in charge for that. Okay, and that person will take, and then he will assign those courses to the respective teachers
Right.
or respective colleges. Yes.
Right. Ma'am, then somebody just asked, is Magisto mobile friendly?
Yes, you can use it, but means some mobiles perhaps it cannot be used in Android. No, perhaps not on Android, but iOS it can be used. OS, Mac OS, it can be used.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
And what are the hardware software requirements for using this Magisto that you just said?
No, no. You have to have those softwares, and you have to download those tools. Okay, which I
Okay.
just mentioned. You have to download those tools. That can work definitely.
Okay,
You should have strong connection. That is
right.
important. Mbps connection should be nearly more than 10.
Right.
Okay.
Hardware and equal to. And there was another question, which in fact, even I could not follow much. I'll read out the way it was read, the way it was typed. Do we need any knowledge of software to compile audio, video, text to keep as a single content? Do we need any knowledge of software to compile audio, video, text to keep as a single content? Probably either it is that is there any software which includes audio, video, text in as a single content? Either the participant wants to ask that is there any software which
Yes,
includes all the three? I think that's what the
there are many.
participant.
Many, I told you
I
that
think
camp
that's what the
studio.
participant wants to ask.
Yes, the camp studio I talked about, that will help you in preparing and creating your videos. Creating your videos. But when actually it comes to the complete content, that is the four quadrant module, then you need other things as well. For video and audio editing, definitely you can do it just like camp studio. Lastly, I talked about,
And
it
I'm
helps
active
you there.
presenter.
And there, yes, and there are many. Active presenter is a replacement of a PowerPoint presentation. I
That is
have
very simple.
actually, I could have added, but there were so many things, and active presenter
That's
is
the
a wonderful.
simplest that we've been using. That's what I said.
Yes,
The
yes, yes.
simplest.
And it helps you to create video. Even you can do PowerPoint presentations.
Presentation and audio,
Yes,
and that's the
yes, yes.
simplest that we've
So
been
it's
using.
not the list I have given. These are not only the approved list. You can have many more. There are so many variety of apps.
In fact,
So
I think
just
the
I
ones
think,
you have used, you have told us are a little more innovative. Like active presenter is just the beginning, what I feel. The ones you've
no,
told are a little more innovative. So,
yeah, presenter generally the professionals use for PPT or
yes,
corporate offices to make it a faster and impressive presentations.
yes,
Just
yes,
like this which I Prezi is also one, but Prezi is generally used for the professional purposes.
right,
So
ma'am.
even we can try Prezi also, but our PowerPoint is not actually less than that. Perhaps PowerPoint has everything. Even what I'm telling, after few days, I have a session with PowerPoint only. So I'm going to tell them that you really don't need all these things. But if you are preparing this content, e-content for professional use or for official use, that you have to use these tools importantly, because without that you cannot make it. But as a you see means learner or uh, preparing it for fun or for sharing amongst the students, that you can use these things.
But
Okay.
ma'am, this is although it's not this question was out of the syllabus of this particular session, but like when it comes to NAC in their chapter, when they are asking about ICT enabled part, they say excluding PowerPoint presentation. They are not including PPT as ICT enabled.
Yes,
They are saying excluding PPT.
ICT, they actually expect ICT means you have to have systems, learning
Yes,
systems,
they are yeah,
learning
correct.
systems.
Learning
And
management
it can
system.
be developed by your faculty, your department, or you should have a learning management
Exactly.
system. That is their expectation is that
They
PowerPoint using computer is not actually
not there
they are
exactly. Yeah,
e-learning this. If
they
you
are
have
more.
created, e-learning, that
Yes,
e-content, so where you are putting it and on what platform you are sharing those things, that is important. So you can have your own learning this
yeah. They
management
they
systems.
about LMS,
Huh,
Moodle, MOOC. They are
huh.
more bothered about
Yes,
that rather than having
yes.
PPTs. Okay.
And they recognize swam means they count it. So if you have some courses, your staff members or for students, if you keep, now it's let me tell you, since I am an assessor, so even I know that 40% of they have come up with this blended learning concept, and 40% of the courses will be done by your students from SWAM, and
Yes,
60% courses will be done from the college, respective colleges. So
yes,
that's really the thing of concern. Then you have to have some SWAM courses.
exactly.
Your university or your college, if it's an autonomous college, they should have some courses so that you can offer it to your students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So that was all for today. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful discourse. It was really very, very interesting. The presentation was a wow presentation. It was, as usual, as creative as you. It was really wonderful. We really
I'm
enjoyed
really
it.
I'm really sorry that there were two, three interruptions and
No,
technical
ma'am.
glitches
No,
always do
ma'am.
occur.
That is actually a technical hitch, and
And
that's
also,
beyond our reach.
yeah. And again, I don't know what has happened to it. Otherwise, I don't have to keep it like this. but now today I have to take it near my mouth.
No,
Uh,
no. Thank you
but
for
still, yeah,
Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you for being so interactive. It was really highly enriching, ma'am. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Thank you.
Gopal, Gopal sir, sorry sir, I have taken a little bit of your time. So
No,
over to
ma'am.
you.
Sir's
No,
time
no, no, not
started
at all.
at
Not at all.
2:30.
My session is scheduled at 2:30.
Acha,
Still,
2:30.
you
Okay,
still
Uh,
have
okay,
one
nice,
minute
nice.
time. You
uh,
still have
Okay,
1 minute
okay.
time, madam.
we are
Wonderful
we
session.
are in
Yes.
time, ma'am. We are
Yes.
exactly in time. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you and welcome, Dr. Gopal Koti sir.
Thank you,
And
madam.
I now hand over the platform to Dr. Jagjit Singh for further proceedings. My colleague, Dr. Jagjit Singh,
Uh,
for further proceedings.
yeah,
Thank you,
with your
Dr.
permission.
Patil,
Yeah,
ma'am. Thank you.
with your permission, I seek your leave. Okay,
Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you, thank
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 you,
you,
you.
ma'am.
madam. Thank
With
you.
the,
Nice presentation.
yeah,
Wonderful. Wonderful. I was
yeah.
lucky to hear you.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you.
And welcome, Dr.
Okay.
Gopal Kalkoti, sir. Welcome, please.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you.
Over to Dr. Jagjit Singh, please.
Thank you, Manuman. Am I audible, Manuman?
Yes,
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 sir. Yes, sir. Very much audible.
perfect.
Audible and visible too.
Okay. Please go ahead, Dr.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Done.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my opportunity to welcome you all on second session of third day of 7 days faculty development program on quality assessment and enhancement in higher education in the light of new framework of NAAC in collaboration with Mantis colleges. I hope and believe you all have learned and enjoyed the first session about e-learning and e-content development in present scenario, which is the most demanding topic of this situation of pandemic. Now, we are going to start the second session of day 3 of 7 days faculty development program. This session is about issues and challenges in teaching, learning, and evaluation. For this session, I feel highly privileged to welcome Dr. G.K. Kalkoti, Principal M.V. Mandali's Colleges of Commerce and Science, Andheri West, Mumbai. G.K. Kalkoti has a vast experience of 39 years in his career of teaching and research. He is a recognized MPhil guide in Yashwantro Chavan Maharashtra Open University and recognized PhD guide of University of Mumbai. 10 of his students have already been awarded PhD degree. He is working on various research projects of UGC and published 40 research papers and approximately 50 books. He has ample contribution in university bodies, professional bodies, and various editorial boards. He has attended various state, national, and international conferences, seminars, workshops as a key speaker, chairman, and resource person. Now, I invite Dr. G.K. Kalkoti to enlighten us with issues and challenges in teaching, learning, and evaluation. Over to you, Dr. Saab.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dr. Jagjit Singh, for the wonderful introduction of mine that you gave this afternoon. I'm very happy that you have covered most of the things that was there in my CV in a short span of time. I also thank Dr. Paragat Singh, Gacha, Principal of G.H.G. College of Education, Ludhiana, for organizing this wonderful 7-day FDP for Minty colleges. I feel jealous of these Minty colleges because they are so lucky that such a wonderful program is being organized by this College of Education, and that too free of charge. 7 days, food for thought, free of charge is really wonderful and commendable job. On that note, I will start my presentation. I'll start screen sharing.
Jagdish sir, you have to stop your
Yes, sir.
screen sharing.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying, sir. I'm trying, sir.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Is it visible? Can I go ahead? Hello,
Yes,
sirs?
sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, yes, yes. The topic that I've chosen for today's presentation is issues and challenges in teaching, learning, and evaluation. As all of you are aware, out of the 7 criterions of NAAC accreditation process, criteria number 2, that is teaching, learning, and evaluation, has been given maximum weightage. That is, as much as 350 marks are assigned, maximum. Whenever I go to various colleges to guide them for NAAC, as my individual capacity as well as a member of the peer team, I always tell these colleges to concentrate on this criteria number 3, that is research, and 6 and 7. These are important ones. Coming to the present topic, teaching, learning, and evaluation. The question is, who are the teachers, who are the learners, and whose evaluation is it anyway? We always believe that our students are our learners. The new nomenclature which is being used in that, learners. And we are supposed to be the teachers to enrich our learners with wisdom and knowledge. We feel that we are imparting our knowledge to them. And after this process is over, teaching from our side, learning from their side, there has to be evaluation. Evaluation of what? Evaluation of what has been taught, what has been learned, if at all something has been learned. Why do I say so, if at all something has been learned? All teachers present here who are attending this will vouch for me when I say, out of 100 students in the class, even if 10% of the students understand, our efforts are fruitful. Because general minds and students' minds in particular have no wings but keep on flying from one end to another, sitting in the classroom or sitting online. Therefore, how much of learning actually takes place is a big question. Are we really the teachers? We claim to be so. The answer maybe yes, maybe no. The answer is yes, because we are appointed as the teachers. We can show our appointment orders. We are the teachers. No, because are we really teaching? How much of our teaching has been really helpful to the students, either in their real life or for writing the examinations that we conduct for evaluation? Therefore, the answer that whether we are teachers or not is both yes and no. Are the students only the learners? Again, the answer is yes and no. Some of the students may be only the learners, but there are some students who may be teachers. We have got so many things to learn from even our students. I firmly believe in this. So maybe our learners may serve to us as teachers to us. Therefore, the evaluation part is both of teachers as well as the learners. We need to evaluate ourselves. How much successful have we been in our duty of parting the knowledge or wisdom or whatever we do? Similarly, how much the students have learned, how much do they use it in their day-to-day life or in their corporate life once they complete their graduation. So with this background, now I touch upon what are the real issues and the challenges that in this TLE, what I mean by TLE is teaching, learning, evaluation, actually faces. The teaching learning is a process. It is the main, that is why I've written the word core of the whole education system. It need not be only at the higher education system. Because NAAC is concerned with the assessment of the higher education institutions, we may feel, but it is there at every level. Therefore, its effective planning and equally effective implementation reflects. It will lead to fruitful end of the quality of the educational institution. This process should be contextual, fluid, and outcome based. There has to be some outcome. If I just say I took 1 hour lecture and it was wonderful lecture, it is not enough. What is the outcome of that? You are happy that you have taken wonderful lecture, but is it really equally wonderful to the students? Have they really learned? Are they going to use whatever they have learned? That is outcome based. Both teaching and learning process should promote. It should lead to upliftment, advancement of the knowledge and the pursuit of the truth. Not only at the local level, our own village, taluka, district level, but also at the national and international level. Therefore, nowadays we talk about imparting global level of education. Our level of education should be acceptable in every nook and corner of the world, the globe. This process should involve global practices, and they should focus on 2 important things, namely the skill set and employability. Second one is more important. About 70 to 75% of the student population come to higher education institutions for acquiring degrees and knowledge because they want to seek prospective employment. Remaining 25% may choose for self-employment. So we should cater to the requirement of the 75% of the student population who seek employment through their degrees and higher educations. Therefore, the process of teaching learning should be realistic. Realistic, it should really cater to the requirements of the industries, the employers. It should be achievable. It is not something we have studied in the book and on the basis of the assumption, and the real world will not be having such assumptions, therefore it is not applicable. It should not be so. And it should be aligned with vision, mission, and objectives of the institutions. And we must take note of locally available resources. We should not grumble, what is this? Our counterparts are using advanced techniques. We are using only this. No. Like Jyoti Madam was telling, you should be innovative enough. You should research on various nets, what are available and what best you can make use of them. For teaching, learning, evaluation, we should identify the learning styles of the students, because the country has so much of diversity. Even in one state, even in one district with the mobility of about 20-25 kilometers, the entire structure of the system changes. The dialect changes, the language changes, the topography changes, the environment changes, the educational institutions' availability of resources will change. Therefore, depending on all these variables, we must identify the learning styles of the students. What are the communication skills? How many students come from vernacular medium at the higher education level? What are their level of understanding when we talk to them in English? Particularly in city like Mumbai, where we work, in some cases we need to talk to them in Marathi, which is the local language. In some other cases, we need to talk to them in Gujarati. In some of the areas, the Gujarati dominant population is there. And in some other extreme cases, typical Bombaya Hindi, we need to speak to them to make them understand and to convince that we have communicated with them. So communication skills of the students, to go to their level, we must know their understanding skills, communication skills. Decision-making standards of the students. How fast do they take decisions? There are three things here. One, entering into the situation of dilemma, whether to do or not to do. Two, after taking the decision, the thought process, whether have I taken a correct decision or wrong decision. Second stage. Third, what if I commit a blunder having taken this decision? So all these things will be very much bothering the students. So how many of them are confirmed? How many of them are convinced that, yes, this is the decision I've taken and it is the best decision for me? So how many of them have this caliber of decision making? Meeting the deadlines. For continuous evaluation system, there are deadlines. As soon as the new academic year opens, the teaching plans, the schedules, the examination schedules, the period-wise contents, everything is given. How often teachers as well as students meet the deadlines? And the most important part is, particularly for commerce and art students, numerical calculation ability. How fast will they understand the calculation part as and when it is required? Depending on that, the parting of knowledge has to begin. Suppose you're all aware of all these things, so I'll make a quick or brief survey of all these teaching learning methods. One is problem-based learning, where this is a method of instruction where students are positioned to work in groups, okay, and they are supposed to solve the problem. It has main features like this. Students are split into groups and the problem is given to them. The group will then pick out and organize the facts of the problem. Then they formulate their own ideas how to come to the solution with their best research solutions. The group will identify what are the learning needs. In other words, what does the group need to understand and learn in order to solve the problem? And lastly, the group will then share the findings. The findings may be correct, wrong, half correct, half whatever. But this is what is about the problem-based learning. Second one is participative learning. Here, the teacher is passive. The teacher is not absent. Please don't be under the impression teacher is out of the class. No, the teacher will not involve in actual teaching part. He is giving passive support. Mutual understanding is there between the teachers and students. They are empowered to be more independent and interdependent, dependent of one student on another. And teacher becomes complementary, supportive role. Okay. And the teacher also gives directions. This is the way you should proceed. This is the way you should avoid all that. The best examples for this are the community activities, surveys, projects. Most of the higher education institutions all over the country do this. Okay, participative learning. The third one is experiential learning, where this is a process through which students develop knowledge, skills, values from direct experiences outside the traditional academic setting. Particularly at the third year level of degree courses, this can be introduced. Okay, these are all the contents of the experiential learning. Particularly the laboratory sessions with the advanced experiments are required for this. You can also adopt internship to expand the knowledge, and add-on courses, UGC add-on courses are there. They can be introduced. The case studies, prototype model making, visual aids, just Madam has explained, all those visual aids can be used. We can have project development also. Now, we need to bridge the gap between the teaching and learning, for which there are two kinds of evaluation. One is formative evaluation, which is in the process of evaluation of the student, particularly of the comprehension, learning needs, and academic progress during the lesson, during the lecturing, during the unit or course itself, we can do this. But the second one is more important, summative evaluation, where this is used to evaluate the learning process and progress of the students' achievement at the conclusion of specific instructional period. It may be a semester, it may be 1 month, for that matter, it may be even a week. So summative evaluation gives you the conclusive remark. Please remember, all of us face such an examination procedure which is not up to the mark. Many often students ask, sir, you teach us for 3 months, 4 months, and you ask questions on so many variety of topics, and you expect us to answer them in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And on the basis of that, we are evaluated. If at all we have understood, but we cannot express them in pages and in writing, are we not intelligent? It's very difficult to answer such questions. So the present system of examination needs to be revisited. It misdirects the teaching learning process and keeps syllabus oriented. This is the syllabus. You cannot play the role of out of the box student to prove your intelligence. Then it is out of the syllabus, you don't get marks for that. Then it creates belief among the students that the outcome of learning is good score. Okay, how much you have scored is more important than how much you have understood, how much you are going to introduce that in real life, practical life. What you have learned is not important. How much you have scored. And nowadays, 90 plus is the minimum expectation of all the parents. Therefore, the examination procedure needs to be revisited. And most sad part is teachers' perception on low score student as deficient. Oh, now he is only 80 KT student. Oh, now only third class student. So this third class, second class, first class is based only on the marks, but it doesn't actually measure the real intelligence of the student. The kind of internal assessment we have at present also needs to be more achievement based than the score based. Coming to the teaching learning evaluation per se, like I said before, it has 350 weightage to affiliated institutions. And for autonomous institutions, it is 50% less because they have liberty of making modulations in their syllabus and examination system. For universities, it is 200 because they are basically research oriented. So teaching learning is minimal as compared to what happens in the affiliated institutions. So this teaching learning evaluation addresses to regular academic activities right from the July month up to October. What happens from November, December to March, April next year, what happens is the main business of teaching learning evaluation system. If the criteria number 1 deals with what is there in learning, this second criteria assesses how the learning actually happens. The various evaluation and assessment practices are also the point of interest here, about which we'll see in detail in later slides. Just one confirmation, am I audible and my PPTs are visible? All of you? Hello? Can anyone respond to my query?
Sir, they can write in the chat box, sir.
No, sir, am I visible and audible both? No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I go on and on and on, and somewhere in between I lose the contact. That should not happen.
No, sir. We are on that duty, on this duty to remind you.
How nice. I didn't know this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So please sound me out if at all there are any technical issues. Thank you so much. Yes. Now in criteria 2, teaching learning evaluation, out of 350, see the weightage here. For student enrollment and profile, 40. Catering to student diversity, 50. Again, if you see, three basic aspects: teacher profile and quality, student performance and learning outcome 60, and SSS, student satisfaction survey. They all have 66 to 60, and remaining have 50, 50 and 40. Okay, the total thus is 350. Now, if you see in the entire criteria 2, how many questions are there? There are actually 26 questions. And please don't go only on the basis of the number. Some of the questions for higher education institutions are so tough. We remember our students, how they would be facing examinations. Okay. Particularly the last one, student satisfaction survey, about which we will talk in detail when it comes to issues of teaching learning evaluation. Now coming to 2.1 per se, student enrollment and profile. Here, normally are expected to give all the information about average enrollment percentage. And please remember, this is the average of the last 5 years. The data requirement is for the 5 years, and the total number of students admitted against the total number of sanction seats. All right. And all of you are aware, documents required are all this document relating to sanction intake, approved admission list wise, year wise, program wise, and sanction admission strength. All higher education institutions should be having this data. Okay, so this is about 2.1.1 average enrollment percentage. 20 is the quantitative metric for this particular one. As far as 2.1.2 is concerned, average percentage of seats filled against the seats reserved. This is another area where some of the educational institutions in cities and towns may have some problems. Now, what if we do not get the students belonging to these categories, SC, ST, OBC, Divangjan, etc.? Are we going to lose marks in NAAC accreditation? This is the question many of the institutions are worried about. Because in cosmopolitan cities, and for that matter, in even metro cities also, there is a possibility that the students belonging to this particular category may be less. Well, this is only the information sought. How the higher education institutions are catering to the requirement of these categories of students. Okay, if it is not there, one need not worry about it. So this is all the documents you need to have. Please remember, a copy of the letter issued by the state government or central government indicating the reserved categories to be considered, because nowadays in different states, different rules and regulations are applied for categorizing the student belonging to different SC/ST categories. Okay, please have that copy in place. That should be in English, not in the regional language. Also remember, final admission list of indicating the category as published by the higher education institution should be signed by the principal. Quite often we simply send this without getting it attested by the principal. Many of the colleges get the documents back for not signing. So this is very important information one should remember. Also, please remember, admission extract submitted to the state, OBC, SC/ST cell, every year we should collect this information, get the approval from the local cell. Getting to the student diversity. Now, this is the most important part in the teaching learning evaluation. Now, in most of the cities, metro cities, where the classroom strength in B.Ed colleges, it is now restricted to 60, or at the most it is slightly more, maybe 65, 70. But here in the Mumbai city and other areas, the class strength for commerce students is 120 allowed, and under certain circumstances, even 15% extra seats are filled in. So it comes to around 140 total number of students in a class. Okay. Now, in this class of 130 plus, we need to identify the slow learners and advanced learners. Difficult job, tough job. Therefore, what we need to do first is identify the slow learners and identify the advanced learners. How do we do that? On the basis of various tests we can conduct before the admission process takes place. One most important thing is on the basis of the marks scored by them in the previous examination. It is one of the indicators. That is not the only indicator, mind you. So, identifying slow learners. We can very well find when the students come for the admission, they fill the form. While filling the form, the way they ask questions, the way they fill the forms, we can identify them. Similarly, core of the entrance exam, they are conducted. Now there are talks that all over the country, the HSC, CBSC and HSC, second PU exams have been cancelled. So now they are getting the result on the basis of the previous examination performance. Now there is a possibility of conduct of the entrance exam. So when we conduct the entrance exam for their admission to the first year of degree course, we can identify them. Then during the classroom interaction, in the classroom interaction, some of the students, through their behaviors, will exhibit their typical advanced qualities or other qualities. So classroom interaction is also another tool of identifying them. During the qualifying examination marks, like I said before, internal examination, as soon as the syllabus is covered by about 10-15%, we conduct internal examination, and there the marks scored by students can also be one of the identifying measure of slow learners. Now, after having identified them, we need to devise special programs for the slow learners. What are those? Bridge courses, induction program, remedial coaching. In remedial coaching, most of the students, they feel hesitate. They don't come forward. They feel this is exclusively for us. Therefore, we feel we have this inferiority complex. So it is very important to take them into confidence and see that it is for their benefit. Remedial coaching. Then ICT-enabled learning material, how far it is useful to them, that also we should see. And most important, personal counseling. The personal counseling can also be taken at the later stage under the heading of mentor system. Coming to special programs for the advanced learners. For these students, we can devise various schemes, research-oriented programs, projects, industrial training, take them to industries, visits, internships, institutional summer. Let me tell you, in city like Mumbai, industrial visits has become a farce, and it has become a kind of excursion. Okay, it is field trip. Very rarely they visit industries. Other than industry, they visit everything. But there, the motto should be how the industrial training actually takes place. That is useful for the advanced learners. In volunteer opportunities, and event organized, various events are organized, inter-collegiate, intra-collegiate events. So we can give them opportunities. We can make them class representatives, depending on the extent of leadership quality they exhibit. Serving on the various institutional committees. There are so many committees, sports committee, NSS committee, DLLE committee, okay, English Literary Association committee, Hindi association. So many are there. So you can put them as a chairman or as a treasurer or as a secretary or whatever. Peer teacher capacity also, they can be given special. And most important thing is to form subject related student societies, commerce association, accountancy association, science association, okay, the ICT, computer training association. So we can put them as the leaders over there. So these are the special programs for the advanced learners. Now, what are the documents to be maintained while doing all these procedures? One is the list of both advanced and slow learners. There has to be notices related to various programs, but here you should be very careful. Do not mention this is meant for this particular training program for enabling this. So they themselves will understand for whom it is meant. So that smartness one has to exhibit. Ensure that attendance is full and maintain the record of their attendance. Also, do not forget to take the feedback about the programs conducted for their benefit, whether it is for advanced learner or it is for the slow learners. If at all there are any success stories. For example, you have taken one case of a slow learner, and he has exhibited tremendous capacity of overcoming his slow learning, and he is now as good as an advanced learner, or maybe even better. If at all you have such success stories with evidences after implementing some programs, it may take 1 or 2 years, fine, but then if at all you have such observations, kindly groom such students and enable them to come forward and train them to overcome their slow learning. And also, as a record, you can take a couple of photos, you can also take brief video clipping, and you can also upload them on the institution's website. Please remember, all such records must be maintained separately for every year. Okay, now we come to 2.2.2, student and full-time teacher ratio. Here is a issue and challenge both, about which I will talk at the later stage. But what NAAC expects here is total number of students entered in the institution and total number of full-time teachers in the institution. There is a ratio required. The ratio is, the formula, students is to teachers. And in some of the cases, in some of the colleges, it may be very high, as one teacher for as many as 80 or 90 students. But in some of the arts colleges, it may be as low as one teacher for 5-6 students. That's okay. Okay, but one has to maintain such documents. So what documents we require? Certified list of full-time teachers, along with their affiliation to the department, list of showing number of students to each program, and also consider who take 90% of the workload is defined as the statutory bodies as a full-time teacher. For example, in Maharashtra, I think for a full-time workload, it is 18 lectures of 48 minutes. So only that person who is given this 18% of 48 minutes is considered as a full-time teacher. Anything less than that is not considered as a full-time teacher. Now 2.3.1, the quantitative measure is again 20 here. Like I said in the beginning itself, experiential learning, participative learning, problem solving learning methodologies, how they are all enhancing the learning experiences. So what we need to do here, prepare a description of activities, put the brochures, notices, how many number of participants are there, what are the outcome of the activity, what is the feedback, okay, and also maintain some selected testimonials from the students. The students themselves should volunteer to come forward and say, this is what I've learned in experiential learning. Here I was given in participative learning, this is what I've come out with. Such testimonies from the students should come. This is what the madam was explaining earlier. And one of the faculty members was also observing, what is the extent of or percentage of teachers who are using ICT enabled tools? And also remember, if you say all my lectures are PowerPoint based, please remember it is not considered. It is a basic. And if you say, sir, what about the talk and chalk system? Yes, chalk and talk system is also required for the subjects like mathematics, accountancy, economics, and such other. Yes, but there are ways of using ICT enabled tools even while teaching these subjects. All right, so you have to devise your own teaching aids on the basis of what you have learned in the previous session to make your lectures more ICT enabled, more student centric, and also you yourself should feel happy that I am now ICT enabled faculty. All right. So please highlight use of ICT tools, what all you have been using, smartboard, okay, and what tools you have adopted in your college, in your institution. If at all you are using some subject specific tools, highlight their uses. If at all you have used some open source softwares, licensed versions, all these documents are required. Okay, so by default, all the higher education institutions must have a fully developed with all the latest or modern technical tools enabled computer lab. State-of-art lab, we call it as state-of-art lab. And also nowadays, we can take the photograph in real-time usage. We can give, when we can give real-time attendance to students and their parents, why not we take a photograph when we are using ICT-enabled tools for our teaching? Okay, so you must make best use of previous sessions learning for fulfilling this requirement. Now, this is about the mentorship. NAAC expects that even at higher education level, students need some mentoring. May not be all of them, but definitely most of them. So we need to evolve the robust mentor system. We have to develop a form comprising of basic information and capable to track the progress of the mentee. If one teacher is assigned 20 students, 25 students under him to mentor them, the teacher should provide basic information. What is the percentage of mark the student has scored? What is the family background? Did he have any learning disabilities in the past? Does he have any family issues? Does he have any worrisome mental issues? All these things, only during the mentoring meetings, the students and parents will come and explain to the mentor. Therefore, it is very important. You cannot ask the student in an open class. During mentoring sessions, the learner and the parents may be given full confidence that it is going to be strictly confidential. Please come out with whatever problems the student is facing or likely to face. Therefore, mentoring is required. So, copy of the circular pertaining to details of the mentor, approved mentor list should be provided. Then all the issues related to the mentee should be properly maintained, and they need to be resolved in a stipulated time. And also, the outcome of that should be made available. How many meetings were taken, what has been the attendance, the signatures of the students, all these should be maintained. And also, web page consisting of brief description of the mentor watch system with the aims and objectives can be put on the website. And if at all, like I said in the previous slide, if at all there are any success stories, you can highlight. Okay, every institution definitely will come across with some of the other learners, with some of the other brilliant success stories. So please highlight them when you prepare the NAAC report. Teacher profile quality. 4.1, again, the quantitative measure is 20. So data required is name and number of the full-time teachers. Why this is required is, in some of the education institutions, they simply give admission to the students and there are no teachers. And at one point or the other, the students feel that no teacher means, okay, free lecture, we are happy. But there are some group of students, they feel that what for we have taken admission when there are no teachers here? What are we going to learn? Therefore, there is a requirement for these many students, for these many subjects, for these many divisions. This is the number of full-time teachers required. This is sanctioned by the government, whether or not the education institution has appointed them. If not, what alternative arrangement the system has made. All that data is required here. The objective is very simple and straight. Whether for the number of students who have taken admission in a particular class and division, there are required number of teachers to teach them for all those subjects that the university has prescribed. That is the whole idea here. Okay, so year-wise full-time teachers against the sanction post, list of the faculty members authenticated by the principal, and only full-time teachers will be considered. Now the glitch is, there are possibilities that you may take some teachers on part-time basis, and in some cases there are visiting faculties, particularly for BMM course, Bachelor in Mass Media. Again, there is a journalism and also the print media and the electronic media. You do not get there is no full-time workload. Under such special circumstances, only the visiting faculty and the part-time faculty are also allowed. That is only for that course. That is only for a particular semester or particular period of time. Otherwise, it is better for the higher educational institution to go for full-time faculty. Another reason is these visiting faculty and part-time faculty may not be available for other than teaching work. Now, what is other than teaching work? The other than teaching work is setting of the question paper, smooth conduct of the examination, assessment of the papers, compilation of the results. These are all the part and parcel of the full-time teacher. This work will have to be assigned to other full-time teachers. In the non-availability of full-time teachers, they will be overburdened. Okay, that is the whole idea. But only in certain extreme situation, even if you employ the part-time or the visiting faculty, please make all this as a part of the duty. If you're required to pay for that also, one should be ready for that, but they should be available for other than teaching work also. All right, and all the appointment letters of the full-time should be ready. Similarly, the part-time and the visiting faculty should also be in place. Now, the information about the average percentage of full-time teachers. That means out of the total number of teachers, how many of them are the PhD holders? Now, this is another area where most of the higher education institutions may not have good number of PhD holders. Okay, therefore, my earnest request to all these 98 participants, I can see 98 participants now. Maybe 8 or 7 of them are the organizers, or 10 of them. The remaining participants, if you have not acquired PhD degree as of now, my earnest request to all of you is kindly go on with the procedure of registering yourself, acquire PhD degree. It is not very difficult, definitely not impossible. And if you decide to be in teaching profession, it is very important to acquire higher and higher degrees. Of course, PhD is the one of the highest academic degree. After that, you also have a DLED, etc., etc. Fine, but at least PhD. After joining this profession, according to me, within maximum 10 years, you must have PhD degree, so that in the remaining span of your teaching profession, you can cash in on your PhD degree for your academic advancement, nothing else. Okay. So all those who have PhD degree, their certificate should be there, and a degree should be from recognized UGC, recognized university. Please remember, honorary doctorate are given by some of the universities. Somebody is good at social service, somebody is good at drama, somebody is good at singing, somebody is good at dancing, and to recognize their art, they are given honorary doctorate. Please remember, it is not called as PhD. Let us be very clear. PhD is academic degree, whereas the person who is getting honorary doctorate is not academic one. That is not considered by NAAC. No honorary doctorate will be considered. Now coming to 2.4.3, average teaching experience of full-time teachers in the same institution. Here, NAAC wants to know the continuity of the teaching faculty. Continuity has two things. One is how happy the faculty with the institution is, number one, and how loyal both faculty to the institution to the faculty also. See, this continuity part of teaching fraternity to the institution is also important for quality education. Okay, so list of faculties along with the particular of date of appointment, all the appointment letters and experience certificates should be available as a document evidence. And also remember, work experience of the teacher in other institution is not to be considered here if the teacher was not on approved base. There are some teachers who keep on hopping from one institution to another. in 15 years of their experience, they might have served in 12 as well as 12, 13 institutions. Every year, new institution. Now, such faculty will have career advancement problem at later stage. Fine, it is their personal thing, but for institution also, hiring such people who intend to jump to next institution next year, it is very difficult for them to find every year new faculty for teaching the same subject. Therefore, NAAC wants to see how many full-time teachers in the same institutions. Now we come to evaluation process. Okay, we need to develop a standard procedure. This is one of the issues that I'll take up later on. Displaying all the information related to this to the students in advance. Preferably as soon as the students take admission, we need to conduct one orientation program, and all the procedure of internal examination, how much is the syllabus covered, how much marks are assigned for that, and when will the external examination take place, all those details should be briefed. Okay, both long-term and short-term evaluation systems should be made very clear. What we do in most of the educational institutions in Mumbai are, we conduct orientation program in the beginning of the academic year, where we invite even the parents. Parents come and they feel happy. We invite the parents also to make them understand what is required in the continuous evaluation of their wards. Okay, we also need to consider POs, PSOs, COs. I'm going to cover all these three in detail: program outcomes, program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. Okay, all these three are very, very important. As higher education institution, we need to develop all these three very carefully and very nicely. All right. Mechanism to deal with the internal examination related grievances. There are grievances for all the kinds of examination, and particularly in pandemic situation now, when we conduct online examinations everywhere, the grievances are more. All right. A major problem is net problem, and second one is there was net, but my laptop, my mobile did not function properly. So all related to the same problem, online examination. If the grievance is genuine, that you should ensure first, then there has to be redressal for that. Okay. If it is the institutional level problem, then who should be responsible for that? If it is at the learner's level, then who should be responsible? Fine. But ultimately, benefit of doubt should be given to learner in the addressal of the grievances. Okay. 6.6 is about the student performance and learning outcomes. This is where we must clearly state course outcomes for all the courses. When we say courses, different levels, maybe it is IT, maybe it is commerce, maybe it is art, maybe it is management studies, whatever. And all such POs, PSOs, and COs should be made available on the website of the college. It should be available on the domain. And if the college prints prospects every year, maybe this year onwards it may go online. So there has to be a printed copy in the college prospectus, even if it is a soft copy, it doesn't matter. Such all information about POs, PSOs, COs should be available in the prospectus also. Now, what are these POs, PSOs, and COs, and how do we consider their attainment? First and foremost is program outcome. What is this? It describes what students are expected to know. A student who joins B.Ed course, BCom course, BSc course, whatever, what the student is expected to know and would be able to do by time of graduation. Suppose B.Ed is 2 years course. Earlier it was 1.5 years. I suppose now it's 2 years course. From first day after the completion of the B.Ed, what is student expected to come out with? BCom is a 3-year course. From first year to third year, what will be the BCom program outcome. All these outcomes relate to what? Skills, the knowledge that the students may gain in these 3 years, 20 subjects, and the behavioral change that the student may acquire. We think that the student joined at first year level was very childish. When he left the college after graduation, he left as matured person. There was drastic behavioral change. His skills of understanding and making others understand or confuse may have increased, whatever. Program outcome is what the student is expected to know after the completion of the course. Second one is program specific outcome, PSO. Please remember, these are very, very important to be mentioned, not only in the college website, let it be there in the student diary and teacher's diary also, if at all you have the system of maintaining all this. These are the statements that describe what the graduates of specific program should be able to do. If the student is going to be a science graduate, let us say BSc with chemistry, BSc with physics, BSc, what is he going to do? Or if the student belongs to commerce stream, BCom, after completing of 3 years degree, that is program, specific program, what is he able to do? Is he absorbed as an accountant, clerk, or can he be self-employed? What are outcomes of such specific program? Arts, science, commerce, management, whatever. Then comes course outcomes, COs. These are the statements indicating what a student can do after the successful completion of the course. The course may be of 1 year, it may be of 1.5 years, 2 years, whatever it may be. Okay, so all these three should be very clearly understood by the students and their parents, so that their level of understanding can also be defined. I'll put this slide to you. Level of attainment. Now, the level of attainment is taken into consideration from the entry level to the exit level. Okay. For example, if we have admitted a student with 50% of score in the previous examination at the entry level, when he goes out, whether this 50% became 60, 65 or more, or it came down, what has been the level of attainment? That is the outcome. Okay. So in level 1, we have 60% of the students scoring more than 40% marks in the university exam. University exam is a final examination. In most of the colleges in the University of Mumbai, we have first year, second year exams conducted by the college. Only third year is conducted by the university. So that is why we say university exam. Level 2, we have percentage increasing from 60 to 70. 70% of the students scoring more than 40%. And in the highest level, level 3, 75% of the students scoring more than 40% of the marks in the university exam. You can define this level of attainment depending on the intake score of your students in your institution, and once they go out, what has been the score. That is how you have to calculate the level of attainment. Now, when teaching learning evaluation criteria 2, when you write answers to all these questions that we have seen so far, you need to have certain qualitative answers, like highlight the effective implementation and its any program that you have chosen to run in your institution. How effective its implementation has been. Please highlight that. And also, whatever statement you make, put some facts and figures. What do I mean by facts and figures? For example, as compared to last year we had about 100 computers in our institution. This year we have added 50 more to make most of the students and teachers the ICT enabled. So facts and figures. We have added some computers this year. Some has no meaning. Some has no meaning. There has been some addition of computers. Some addition, no again. There has been substantial, no figure. Exactly. You can count them, no? How many computers have you purchased? You can count them. You can also show the receipts that you have purchased, and you can also maintain the licensed versions of software you have in that. Facts and figures are important. Some advanced, achievable, no. What is achievable? Percentage, okay? Show the continuity. There has to be sustainable thing in the institution. 1 year only 50% of 50 computers purchased, second year no computers, third year 10th. No, gradual increase is the good way of looking at the growth of the institution in any field. Also try to add future plan. I always suggest my fellow teachers in various institutions, your vision should be for next 5 years, whether it is at individual level as a faculty or at institutional level. So what is the future plan? From 2020 up to 2025, what is going to be your vision? Where do you want to see yourself and where do you want your institution? That is very, you have to draw a plan, perspective plan. If at all, you have, all the institutions have their unique practices. What is so unique about your practice? Okay, many colleges have introduced so many examination reforms. Others are not doing it. When others are not doing it, you have devised a scheme in your institution in order to see that the examination is foolproof. That itself is uniqueness. What is that? What is the cost involved in it? And what is the effectiveness of that new practice? All these are should be in measurable terms. Okay, you can say after introduction of such a unique system, the extent of malpractices among the students has been considerably reduced. That's a good thing. Fantastic. What is that unique thing you have devised? That others also. Okay. Now, please be informed. All these supportive documents that I've been telling, put it on the institutional website. It should be on the institutional website only. No Google Drive, no Amazon Cloud, no other third party. No, not accepted at all. Because you don't know when Amazon Cloud will disappear with all your data, when Google Drive will disappear in the thin air. Your college website, please ensure that it should be cracker proof. It should not be hacked by anyone. Ensure that, and it is always safe. And also ensure that the facts and figures that you are mentioning should be same what you have given to AISHE or NIRF or any other institution. So there should not be any variation in the data provided to you by either to NAAC or to AISHE or to NIRF or to any other institution. So there has to be uniformity, consistency. This is another way of measuring attainment, progression, average pass percentage of students during the last 5 years. Now, please remember, all the results of all the examinations should be made available here, which should be belonging to affiliated university. All of them should be duly signed by the principal. Attestation is a must. And the certified report from the controller of the examination of the respective university is also the must. And also remember, the results of the final year only is important. Other than that, lower level results like first year, second year are not to be submitted. So please remember all these things while average pass percentage of students. Now we come to the last part of teaching learning evaluation and the most difficult part for the higher education institution. Student satisfaction survey. Let us understand what it is now and then understand what are the issues. So this is regarding the how far the students are our customers. NAAC treats students as a customers. They are the stakeholders. So one of the most important metric, which has 60% of the weightage in comparison with others also, only 20% of the students should give their response. And please remember, NAAC has the right to select this 20% at random. You have to submit detailed information of every student who is admitted to your institution. Even supposing you give the student strength as 1000, and you submit the data of 900 students, NAAC will not accept it. No, information of one more student is pending. Query will come. All right. So after you submit all the required information of all the students who have been admitted in your institution to the NAAC, NAAC will randomly select 20% of the students. That means if 1,000 students are there and you have submitted the information of all those 1,000, NAAC will contact only 200 students. Now, who will be those 20,000? Neither student will know, nor teacher will know, nor institution will know. This is the greatest challenge and also issue. We'll see that later. Response should not be from the same. Supposing 2 students are there, both the students cannot give response from the same device. 2 students, 2 devices. Okay. Every year, institution will have to do this practice, and the same question for SSS. What are the data requirements? As per the data template, okay, name and class and gender, student ID number, Aadhaar card number is very important, mobile number, email ID, and degree program. Okay, and database should be given to NAAC on the basis of the total number of enrolled students. Okay. Now we come to issues, because my main topic is issues and challenges. We'll throw light on issues, then we come to challenges, and then we see what are the formats we can devise for the smooth preparation of criteria number 2. The first important issue is no objection certificate, NOCs, no objection certificate from concerned authorities to upon the faculty. Now, it is a government rule for the new vacancies, particularly in the aided educational institutions, NOC is not given by the authorities. Now, how will the colleges appoint the teachers is a $1 million question. Now, that if the institutions appoint the teachers on ad hoc basis, temporary basis, the salary of such teachers will not be borne by the management. Now, if they have to appoint, government will not give no objection certificate. Therefore, there is a possibility that the college managements may appoint less qualified, less experienced teacher because they are available for lesser salaries. Major issue. Now, these teachers, I don't blame them. These teachers with lesser salaries and with no guarantee of continuation of services next year, do you expect them to perform better? Do you expect them to mentor the students? Do you expect them to follow with all the teaching plan and other things that the institution expects? Major issue. Now, I do not say that once the authorities give NOC and the teacher is appointed on a continuous basis, the teacher will be very much effective, efficient. No, that is also not there. But at least such students will have loyalty. Such teachers will have loyalty. They will continue in the profession. They will be responsible. They will be accountable. Accountability is there. So major issue is for most of the higher education institutions, government is not providing the chance to appoint the teachers because NOC is not given. Low progression rate, average passing rate. It also depends on quality of the students. At the entry level, the student may have only 40%, 50%, whatever is the required percentage. But if the student does not work hard, education is just because of getting the degree. And some of the girls, it happens in city of Mumbai, for some of the girls, the degree is only for getting a good person in a marriage. So all these are other than academic interest, due to which progression rate is very low. Another issue. The third one is about the online satisfaction of the student survey. In the previous slide, I was explaining to you. 20% of the students randomly selected. Now, for the bad luck of the institution, in every institution, there are some students, they might have faced some grievances. Grievances might not have been addressed. Some of the brilliant students, outstanding students who stand outside the college campus, they never come to the college. Absent students, okay? So if NAAC catches hold of such students in their random selection, First thing is they don't know anything about the college. They don't know anything about the faculty because they don't come to the college. So if these students give their opinion about the college, to what extent that is the genuine information about the institution is a question, is the issue. Even the so-called very regular student, he is very regular, first bench student, but at some point of the time, he may have faced some problems. The problems might have been represented. He might not have got a satisfactory redressal to the grievance, will not give good opinion about the institution. Agreed, students are our customers. Their opinion is the final. It is binding on us. All fine on paper, all fine in theory. When it comes to practical aspect, to what extent student satisfaction survey is really satisfactory is a question. However, this is one of the tests which needs to be revisited. Why I say this is, only based on 20% of the information given by the randomly selected students, institutions' proficiency, efficiency, and other programs that we conduct seriously cannot be judged, is my opinion. Therefore, it is an issue. So, online student survey regarding the teaching learning process is the real issue. Now, coming to the challenges. Now, when you prepare your report, particularly the question number 2.6.1 or so, I don't remember exactly, maybe I'm right. Number of full-time teachers receiving awards from the state, national, international level, from the government recognized bodies. You tell me, how many teachers, how many faculties will be lucky enough to fall in this group of receiving awards? Okay. It is very difficult for educational institutions to have more number of teachers to fall in this category. And in most of the institutions, wherever I have seen so many SSR I see when I visit, and in this particular column question, everywhere there is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. See, you need a proof, so you cannot bluff here. And it is not very easy to get awards, that to state level, national, international level. Local level you can manage. State level, national level, it is not really easy. Therefore, it is a big challenge for the teaching fraternity. Those who get this, there are lucky ones. I salute them, and I want others also to follow them. But it's only said for saying sake, but difficult to manage. Second challenge is attainment of program outcomes, program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. We do our part of teaching. Whether the student has really learned, whether the outcome has been really achieved, whether it is a program outcome or specific outcome, or it really becomes difficult. After the third year, students simply go away. We have devised the scheme of calling the students to the campus to collect their degree, to collect the mark sheet, so that at least while going we ask them. But sometimes they do not come, sometimes they have their difficulties, they are out of state, they are out of India, they request us to send it on post, all these things. So it is very difficult to know from the students whether program outcomes, program specific outcomes, or course outcomes have been achieved or not. Another challenge. Reforms in continuous internal evaluation is required. Big challenge. We only conduct such tests where true or false match the following. Multiple MCQs are very popular. And let me tell you, most of the students need not study well. It is not internal evaluation at all. It is a luck evaluation, according to me. And in some cases, it is the peer evaluation. How far they sit together on online examination, and how far they look at each other. And all this is humbug. So we require some reforms here. These are all okay. The new challenge is this pandemic situation and continuation of online and or hybrid system of education, if at all it is going to be. 16 months now, already 16 months. We have become used to sitting with the laptops and mobiles at home, not moving out of our houses. Everything is online. When we conduct online lectures, how do we know whether all the 50, 60 students who have joined your lecture online, are they sleeping? Are they eating? Are they in the mall? Are they in the train? Are they in the auto rickshaw? Are they in the garden? Are they really learning? Forget about this learning, even during the examination. How do we know whether the exam conducted online, to what extent it is foolproof? And please remember, even in the post-pandemic situation, COVID is not permanent. Let us be very optimistic in this. Okay, within half year, 1 year down the line, okay, it will go out, and again we'll move to offline. Please remember, I hope I have my own inferences to arrive to the conclusion that there is a possibility that whatever we are now doing online, part of it is likely to continue even in offline. For example, your evaluation of the examination papers. In most of the universities, it has already started. In fact, it is a pre-pandemic situation thing. So your paper evaluation will be online. All right. So there is a possibility that some of the internships, some of the interviews, it may be online. If you have to conduct some viva for some of the subjects, that can be online. So whether it is a pandemic situation or it is otherwise, this continuation of online and or hybrid system of education is a big challenge, because anytime and every time there may be a system failure. It is not in our hands. We have seen in the previous schedule, previous presentation, Madam was so enthusiastically explaining, suddenly the voice would go, suddenly it will become still. So these are not in our hands. And please remember, in case of some students, in one family, there may be 2-3 students attending the same kind of lecture, attending the same kind of examination. A big challenge. Okay, so how do we come out of that? The time itself will give us the answer. Now, I have about 10 to 15 minutes. Quickly, I will complete this working system of degree college as per the university guidelines. What all kind of formats we have created to make the reporting to the NAAC teaching learning evaluation easy, smooth, and from the point of view of maintaining the record, it will be very, very handy. So first thing we need is total workload to be prepared. Depending on the number of courses you run, number of streams you run, and number of divisions you have, you need to prepare a total workload. The link I've given, can it be seen? Organizers, link is being seen. Yes, okay, somebody else is there. Okay, so this is how one example of how the workload is prepared for BAF. BAF is Bachelor in Accountancy and Finance, BMS, BCom, etc. Okay, so total workload, if it is prepared, it will help you to go to the next step, that is to prepare the weekly timetable. So all of you must be doing it, but still a kind of format, ready reckoner kind of thing. And the same thing is required for your documentation also, weekly timetable. Third one is a daily lecture report. Now online, you give the timetable. Teacher is conducting the lecture, whether the teacher has been able to complete the lecture online or not, or because of the net problem, any problem, the teacher has to cancel in between and he has to reschedule the lecture. All such things will appear in daily lecture report. So this is the daily lecture report for the month of April. Okay, so I can see the daily lecture report here of every day. This is for 14. Okay, to show you one more example, every day I can go here. For example, this is 21. 21, if I want to see that is a holiday. Look here, Ram Navami holiday. So there were no lectures conducted on that. So what was the lecture, daily lecture? Oh, this is it. And here I also get all first year, second exams were conducted. So here what happened, 16th ko, Sabina madam cancelled lecture due to etiquette exam supervision. 17th, what up? Every information we get here. So this is the advantage of keeping all the information ready about the lecture report. Handy information will be available. Okay, this is about the daily lecture report. Then we have daily attendance report. The students, how many students attended what lecture? So, okay, this is about students attendance. We have we have in fact taken the app for this. That app gives student and the parents real-time attendance report. 8 o'clock lecture started. If 8:20 lecture attendance is taken, 8:20 real-time student will get on his mobile whether he has attended lecture or not. Parents will also get if they have provided the number to the institution. Daily attendance report. Monthly login report. Now, because of the online lectures, whether teachers have really taken the lectures or not, to have the proof for that, monthly online. Look here, in progress, number one, attendance, time, like date of lecture submission. So date-wise, time-wise, all the information can be made available for providing the documentary evidence. Teaching plan. We can create a teaching plan, semester-wise teaching plan, month-wise, semester-wise, January, February, March, April. Which class FIBA, which class FIBCom, like that. So all the documentary things should be kept ready so that preparing the report will not be a problem. Now, teachers prepare a teaching plan. In a particular week, in a particular month, 20 lectures were planned. Whether all the 20 lectures were taken or not, maybe because of teacher being sick, maybe because of net issue, maybe because of any unforeseen contingencies, if lecture has not been able to be conducted, then that needs to be reported. That is what is called as monthly monitoring sheet. This monthly monitoring sheet has the information about teacher information, okay, and how many lectures were planned, how many were executed. So here 9 lectures were planned, 9 were executed. So no issue. Now here, for example, 11 lectures were planned, 10 lectures were taken. Why is it so? Because the teacher was on approved casual leave on 1st April. Now, what is steps taken? Not required as a portion is duly completed. Revision was conducted because of the extension of the term in city of Mumbai. So all such reports you get here, ready-made, readily available. If you search for the reports at the end of the academic year or end of semester, it becomes difficult. If you keep such reports readily available, it becomes handy to the IQSC coordinator, to the faculty, to anybody. For principal life will be very easy. So this is the 7th document. 8th one will be about syllabus completion. Now we require documentary evidence for having completed the syllabus by the teacher. Therefore, we have devised the documentary evidence for this. So here I certify that I have completed. Who will give this? Teacher will give, sign of the faculty, and we take the sign of the 2 regular students, representative of the student. Students will not give false testimony, no. So we take, it is signed by the principal. So there is completion of the syllabus approved by the principal. If the teacher has taken the leave, that record also can be maintained. Reason for leave, date, number of days, type of leave, sanction, unsanctioned, remark. So you can have your data readily available. Then the last part is evaluation, examination, evaluation. Now here, you need to give at least 1 month, 30 days notice to the student for the conduct of the examination. Therefore, announcement of examination date schedule. So we give the timetable itself 1 month before. The examination in charge, in consultation with the principal and course coordinator, will prepare the examination date and schedule. Allocation of paper setting. Everybody cannot set every paper. So who will set which paper? What is the deadline for the submission? Whether the paper was submitted or not? All such information needs to be recorded. Then you need to have conduct of the examination in 1 session, 2 session, or whatever. Then you need to have dealing with the unfair means practice, which is called as copying case. You need to have record having conducted the grievance redressal meetings. This is the record you need to maintain. What the student was found with, what was the grievance, what the committee said, what was the punishment. Okay, so this is grievance redressal or unfair means practice cases. Evaluation and assessment of the answer. If it is online, yes, you can do it online. If it is offline, then the schedule. Okay, name of the teacher, name of the issue of the examination papers, date of submission, signature. So all such things can be systematically maintained. Result compilation. After the papers are assessed and submitted, compilation will take place. Then comes the final thing, that is result announcement. You need to give the schedule of result announcement. Like this year, marks list submission, finalization of the result by the admin, finalization by the coordinator, declaration, and online admission will start. This is how the teaching, learning, evaluation, till giving the mark sheet to the student, every process information can be documented. So with this, I come to an end of my presentation, and now this presentation is open for discussion. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. There are a few questions from the participants, sir.
Yes, yes.
First question is from Navneet Kaur. During as a supervisor, duty as a supervisor during school internship count towards 18 teaching periods needed by full-time faculty?
Hmm. Look here. This supervision, examination supervision, is it, Namita madam? If it is examination supervision, it will not come during the lecture hours. It comes after the exam, after the lecture hours. It cannot be in compensation with the teaching periods, if I've understood the question correctly.
Sir, that means supervision during the school internship program. There is a school internship program during the B.Ed course.
Okay.
Uh, yes, sir.
Hmm.
For 6 months. Uh,
Okay.
B.Ed students have to teach to 6th, 7th, 8th class, 9th, 10th students
Correct.
for
Correct.
6 months.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is a part of the routine, no, sir. That such teacher is on duty for such purposes. It is a part of the curriculum. No, I don't know why there is a doubt about it. It is a part of the system, part of the course.
Yes.
I know.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Next question. In self-financed colleges, there are not sanctioned posts. I repeat, in self-financed colleges, there are not sanctioned posts. Then how to ascertain total sanctioned posts?
May I know who is the person asking this question? If the person can be named?
Sir, I have not written his or her name.
No problem. No problem.
Sorry.
Uh, to answer this question, it is very, very clear whether the college is aided or self-financed. Okay.
Self-financed, sir. Self-financed.
No, I'm answering whether the institution is aided or unaided self-financing. The rules and regulations are the same. Okay. So for 3 divisions of degree course, if 20 teachers are required, those 20 teachers are sanctioned by the university. You need to give an application and you need to advertise for the post of lecturers or assistant professors. University will give the sanction. That itself is taken as the sanctioned post. So the rules and regulations are not different for self-financing college and aided college. Okay, so for number of students, number of divisions, these are the subjects, these are the number of teachers required. That itself is the sanctioned post once we get the university's approval for that.
Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Sir, can I add something to this
Please
question?
do, please do.
Actually, sir, in self-finance college, like management is sanctioning the post. For example, a new course is started in a aided college or a government college. The concerned government gives a number of posts in particular college. For example, 100 strength, government gives 7 or 8 posts. But in case of the self-finance colleges, the management can sanction the post and the concerned university can approve that particular appointment, sir.
That is already there in the NAAC manual. Management sanction post word is already there.
Sir.
That is also taken as approved post.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It was there in my presentation also. Either government approved or management approved.
Yes, sir. I think the person who have asked that particular question, he or she can get a proper letter from the management about the
Yes.
number of sanction posts for particular course. If they have no written proof from the any government agency, and then their post will be approved by the concerned university.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Next question, sir, please.
That's all for today, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
To all the participants, link for feedback form is shared with you all. Kindly fill that form. Now I invite Dr. Papaldeep Khosal, Assistant
Sir,
Professor.
Jagji sir, I think Mr. Sevak has raised the hand. Please give 1 minute to ask any question, please.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir, you can
Namaskar, sir.
unmute and ask question to the resource person, please.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar, sir. I have one question. If
Yes, sir.
college documents and appointment letters are in regional language, then in that case, what we can do?
Sir, NAAC normally trusts, believes once it is approved by the university. Okay. Now, for example, in Maharashtra, particularly in Maharashtra, there are 12 universities, and in Mofussil area, the language for communication itself is Marathi, and all the communications take place in Marathi. And even in Mumbai University, nowadays, most of the circulars come in Marathi. So that is not a problem. To the extent possible, they should be in English. If it is in Marathi, no problem. It should be approved by the university.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, with your permission, I'll answer this question. I don't know. Meherarthi has asked a question. Mr. Meherarthi, will the ad hoc teacher working for 22 years be counted as a permanent teacher? Okay, I'll answer this question, Mr. Meherarthi. Look here. How many years of teaching experience you put is not important. Okay, whether the post against what you are appointed, was it approved post? I put the word NOC. So your appointment was against the approval of the NOC, whether the proper selection committee was constituted, whether your appointment was made and recommended by the committee, and whether the appointment was sent for the approval, whether the university gave the approval. Only after your appointment is approved, your real count of experience in the teaching profession starts. Okay, if your 22 years of experience is without such kind of approval, I'm afraid you cannot be considered as permanent teacher. You will be continued as ad hoc teacher only. The reason is your appointment was not made against the approved teaching post and approved by the university.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any question from participants? Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Now I invite Dr. Papaldeep Ghosal, Assistant Professor, Cordia College of Education, Sangol, for formal vote of thanks. Dr. Papaldeep Ghosal, over
Yes,
to
sir.
you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes,
very
ma'am. Yes,
audible.
ma'am. Fully
Okay.
audible, ma'am.
First of all, sir, it's a great opportunity for me as well to convey this vote of thanks on this third day of the faculty development program. So I feel really honored. And on behalf of Cordia Institutes, I really appreciate this tremendous effort that has been, initiated by the mentor college, GHG Khalsa College of Education, in collaboration with the mentee colleges. So it's a great effort, sir. And I would like to really thank our resource persons of the day. We had Dr. Jyoti Patil ma'am. She gave a really, uh, in depth, I would say, information regarding the development of e-content, and some of the tools, I mean, they were really new to us, and we need to incorporate those tools. And thank you so much, ma'am. I think she's not with us right now. So our next resource person, Sir Dr. Gopal K. Kalkoti, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The kind of, in-depth description that you have given, I think it cannot be made more easy than this. Everybody could understand, and all the technical points, everything was explained in detail. And one thing, what like sir said, documentation is very important if we are going in for NAC. So it is not, the smart work doesn't work here. It has to be what you have is what you show. So thank you so much, sir, for being. And I guess I would like to mention one thing. So very good definition of outstanding students. We need to take care of those outstanding students.
Yes,
So
yes.
we need to be very careful of those special outstanding.
Absolutely careful. They are
Yes,
the real mischief mongers.
yes, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for
Most
sharing.
welcome.
And it's great help. The criteria too is great help to all of us. And lastly, I would thank all the participants who have joined us for this session. So thank you all. Thank you, sir, once again. Dr. Gopal, sir, thank you again.
Thank you,
And the
madam.
team
Thank
of
you.
GHG Khalsa College, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, madam. Nice of you for giving me opportunity. I hope I have come up to expectations of all the attenders and the
Definitely,
institution.
sir.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. The
Thank
chat
you so
box
much,
is full
madam.
of appreciation,
Nice of
and
you, sir.
I think all the participants have enjoyed your session, sir. Thanks a lot for
Thank you
accepting our
so much, sir.
invitation and for the wonderful session, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Thank you so much.
absolutely grateful to all the people who have organized this. Good work. Very
I'm,
good work.
I'm also thankful to Dr. Mandeep, ma'am, the real person who have told about you, and we are
Yes, I also thank
delighted.
Mandeep, but I've already
Yes.
thanked her in person. But Dr. Mandeep Kochar and we are very close friends in Mumbai. Even her sister Ramandeep is a good friend of mine. So thank you, madam, and thank you, sir, for listening to her and believing in me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for gracing the occasion. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
the
all the
best.
participants. It was a
Thank you,
great
ma'am.
day.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All the best for remaining day sessions also.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
And we would be looking forward to you
Yes,
for the remaining sessions also.
definitely,
And
definitely.
thank you all. Thank you, all the participants. And have a nice day. And hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dr. G.H.G. Thank you, Dr. Pargat. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Have a nice time.
Okay.